I'll tell you even before I start that, this is the main reason I want to do this, man. I've never told any of these stories in public before. Most of my staff and stuff like that, they have no idea about stuff like this.
My name is Lawrence Ray, also known as LRW3, and today I got some good people here with me, man. I had to go get me a haircut before I sat down with these guys, man. Definitely an honor. I appreciate all of you all's time before we get started. Y'all know how we start things. Introduce yourself. Let people know where they can find you all at.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Keyshawn Brown, also known as Platinum Style by Sean. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Success is a mindset. If you can follow me on IG at platinum_cuts by Sean. Make sure y'all check out some of my content and y'all stay tuned. Let's do it.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, let him go ahead.
All right. My name's Steve Putman. I'm the founder of Olde World Barbershop.
Craig Hightower. You can follow me on IG at Craig_TheBarber1821.
Let people know where Olde World is and where they get their hair cut at.
Yeah, so our first location's located on Houston Lake in Warner Robins. We've been there since 2014. It's grown tremendously through the years. Last year we did like 1.2 million in sales just on haircuts alone. Last year we opened our downtown Macon location. It's on Cotton Avenue. It's been growing, doing really well, and just last week we opened our third location in Perry, near downtown on Ball Street.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that. Let me ask you this. What goes into deciding where to put these shops at?
That's funny you ask, because we were just talking about this outside. First and foremost, I want to find out where I can get barbers. Like that's going to be the first and foremost. Can I get barbers to wherever town? And then after that, we go into demographics. I do studies. Like I'll go Google the population within a 3-mile radius of the certain location. I want to know the average household income of that area, and I want to know how many people are close by.
So let me ask this, just because, not to give away I always tell people, please don't give away your specific formula, because we don't want nobody watching this, and next thing you know, we got Olde World Part 2 coming out of nowhere. But I know you said you searched the demographics, what would you consider to be the perfect place to put these barbershops at then?
Well, now I have a little more data. See, before it's always a theory, so now I have more data. My Warner Robins shop is right in the heart of a whole bunch of neighborhoods, right near the Fagan Mill, Houston Lake area. There's a big, huge demographic of working class families. And then downtown Macon, it's a totally different demographic. It's a much higher average household income, but much lower population density. So we quickly realized through the data, tracking all the data, that the downtown Macon location is basically a higher price point, much lower volume, and our Houston Lake location is very, very high volume. It's probably the highest volume shop in the state.
That makes sense. Yeah. So in Macon, we don't need that many people. They gonna pay more. Warner Robins, we don't have to charge you as much because we're gonna get all y'all over here.
Yeah, and it looks like Perry's gonna be probably a mixture of the two, basically.
That makes sense, yo. That's ingenious right there, man. I wouldn't even thought that deep in it. Like, other companies like kind of really search the data, but with Barber, like I never would have thought, oh, I need to check the data. Like,
shoot, I'll give a free jewel right here. So major corporations, before they open a new location in a new town, they do heavy market research. They spend tens of thousands of dollars on market research. So kind of what I did on my first location, I piggybacked off of previous market research. I knew that the busiest Great Clips in Middle Georgia out of like 10 stores was right there on 96 and Houston Lake. So I wanted to be as close to that because they had already spent tens of thousands knowing that was a great location or whatever. So I'm piggybacking off other.
Make somebody else pay.
Absolutely.
Research.
Absolutely.
Research development coming from Great Clips. We only got to pay that at Olde
Thanks,
World.
guys.
So, Olde World, where does that name even come from?
At first, it was supposed to be, I wanted it to be, like when your dad took you to the barbershop as a little kid, and just a family environment. Like my mom's uncle had a barbershop when I was growing up. It was in Mobile, and it was just the traditional old school, old men talking trash, cussing, Playboy magazines on the table or whatever, like just old school barbershop. So I thought that's what I was going for. I wanted to build a place where I would want to work, basically, but quickly that didn't work out. It quickly became like a high volume instead of high end like what it turned into today was never part of the original business model, I guess is the easiest way to say it.
If it's working, though, hey, sometimes you got to switch the plan if it's working.
For sure. Success sometimes will change your plans. Speaking
of success, man, I noticed you all, I went there a few times, and I noticed y'all got some awards hanging up in there, man. So,
oh no doubt.
What are these awards y'all done won at Olde World?
Bro, this started off in like 2015.
Keyshawn, you see a little smile.
Bro, I will pass that over. So we started the competition team in 2015 as a way to do promoting and marketing. And we went to our first competition. One of our guys won it. We had just the pictures and stuff from that event got us more social media interaction than any content we had ever put on there before. So obviously I'm jumping on that. So we started doing what I call the competition circuit. I would take a whole team bouncing around from show to show. The main one, what really put us on the map was 2016, the Battle of Atlanta, and where I went all in. At this point, I still barely had made my money back from the initial investment. I maxed out my credit cards, everything. I got matching outfits. We hired a photographer and a videographer to follow us up there. So we were like 20 deep at this barber battle. Everybody's dressed up in suits, like looking like $1 million, like we owned it. But no one there knew who we were whatsoever. No one, like, who are these people, man? Like, they had no idea. Absolutely. Well, by the end of the day, everybody knew where Warner Robins, Georgia was. I'll tell you that, because we won there was three categories. We won all 3 firsts and a second. So we got 4 trophies the very first night.
So talk to me about, because it's the first time I'm hearing barbers having competition teams. So I mean, without you explaining it, I can assume that basically barbers is a line of barbers, probably whoever got the best haircut or
that's it. They have different categories, like the best fade, and then you'll have like a design competition, then you'll have like a fade and beard, or they have just different categories or whatever. So like Keyshawn, his very first year as a rookie, we took him out, threw him right into the deep end.
Yeah, you came home with, Keyshawn?
Yeah, man. So I came home with 2 second place trophies, my very first competition ever. Went out to Punta Gorda, Florida, man, and that was my first time even being out there. And honestly, I didn't really even want to compete. I was scared out of my mind. Like, I ain't gonna lie, because I was like, I gotta cut hair from all these people. I just got nervous. But I was like, well, once I got to it, I was like, well, I'm just doing what I normally do on a regular basis anyway. And I thought I probably wasn't gonna place because I seen a lot of different competition out there. But then I just went out there and tried it, and I ended up coming home with 2. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? Well, things can take you. You just gotta believe in yourself and go try it.
You ain't gonna say your slogan real quick?
And y'all already know what time it is, man. Success is a mindset. You just gotta do it.
Mindset, definitely. But before we really get into Olde World and the great things you all are doing, I want to pull it back some so people can see that, you know, even a regular person can get to levels that you reached at. You know, when they see you, they may not equate you to just, you know, the average man now, because, you know, you earned that certain stature. So we're not going to pretend. I know you're going to sit here and be humble. We're not going to do that. We're going to give you credit. That's what we're here for, so people can acknowledge what you're doing. But, you know, I think it's fair to show, you know, hey, I haven't always been here. It's possible for maybe other people to get here as well. So we're going to work our way back to Olde World by starting back at your starting point and getting there. So let's start at 2004. For the people who maybe didn't know you then, let's start and explain what was going on then.
All right. So up to 2004, I had been bouncing around since I had gotten out of high school the previous couple years. The car business for a few years. I worked in the insurance business at Geico for a couple years. Was just really aimless. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I'd gone back to school at 22. That didn't work out. Anyway, so around 2004, the poker boom started. It was all over ESPN. Online poker was taken over, and there was a lot of the player pool was just huge at the time. So I come from a family I'd grown up playing cards. I've always been a math nerd, so it was just a really exciting game for me. And I started playing immediately. I put $500 online. And within the first month, I had ran that 500 into over 30 grand. And to me, that was like, I was rich, like legit rich. I'd never, ever had that much money. Really, that was as much as I had made in a year. I made less than that. I made like $12 an hour before that. That's way less than 30 grand a year. So, so I went from $12 an hour to 30 grand in a month. So of course, I think I'm the world's next greatest millionaire poker player, and I'm going to be on ESPN or whatever. But you know, reality was much more humbling. But I did grind out the next few years. That's all I did. I I was always hustling. Basically, every job I had ever had was some type of hustle, man. I had a huge hustle mindset from the 90s. I had never worked a really hard job or whatever in my whole life. I was always looking for easy money, you know what I mean? So we were selling a little weed and just playing poker. I was playing online poker. I was running private poker games and just whatever. That was my life from 2004 until 2011, and everything was going great, man. I hadn't had a job in any of those years, and I was averaging. I had some great years, but I was probably averaging $80,000-$90,000 a year, like more than my dad made on the base or whatever at the time. I thought I was doing it. You couldn't tell me nothing. Like I had a nice house, I had nice cars, I had good credit, I had literally everything. So I looked at people who were 9 to 5 in it, like I was really looking down on them, bro. Like straight up. Like even if they made more than me, I was still looking down on them. I'm like, ugh, you working like 40 hours a week? Like, ugh.
So what really set you? Because I know you were playing the poker. You were running like local events for the poker, correct? As far as that goes, what set you? I'm pretty sure you weren't the only one who figured out this poker game. So what set you apart, and what clearly put you at least locally near the top of the poker situation?
Honestly, what it was is I just knew the math. I studied the heck out of it. I read tons of books. I had software to help me. It's different. Like when you're playing at a table live, we're playing like 20 hands per hour, so the variance is really high. But online, I can play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hands per hour. I have 20 tables up at once, and I'm just clicking through fold, 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 raise, fold, 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 raise. So I can play numerous tables at a time. So the variance was much, much, much smaller. And I use software to track basically, that's how I got the idea for tracking everything and that we do now is we use analytics. I know that's a big buzzword now in sports and stuff like that. Well, I've been on the analytics train for 20 years, and it's every move I've ever made in any business has been analytics driven.
Oh, that makes sense. So you were doing the poker for about 7 years, and then I know, I guess it was a shutdown on the major sites.
Yeah.
First off, and you may not know, of course, because it may have been something above you, but do you know why the sites was shut down, or what was the case with that? Why all of a sudden did they shut them down?
It was the government, man. They weren't getting their tax money out of it. So all the poker sites are based overseas, and it was unregulated basically. So now there are actually some legal sites that you can play now, but basically when they closed it, the government seized everyone's accounts. The main 2 poker sites were Full Tilt Poker and Poker Stars, and they shut them down with no warning, no notice whatsoever. And
log in one day.
For sure. And me and a lot of my friends had most of our money on there, so I had like close to 40 grand in there, and I probably only had a couple grand actually like
liquid cash.
Yes, that I could actually put my hands on because I use that as you know to make money. So it crippled me, man. It was like
are those sites? Because I know now, like even when you play online, just gambling. I'm not a big poker guy. I'm not gonna pretend I know much about poker, but I'm gonna assume it's kind of like with the gambling, how technically like gambling is not legal in Georgia, so you got to like use a site that it makes it real hard to like pull the money
cash
off of.
Yes, it started getting really hard to cash out and stuff like that for sure.
So okay, that's kind of the same thing at
for
that
sure.
time. So all right, 2011, the site shut down. You lose 30, 40.
All of it, basically everything. The numbers are relevant. It was all of it. I lost all of it. So yes, it was over 30 grand, and I lost it. So we were running a private game. I had a partner, and he had never really. He was a regular civilian, man. He didn't do nothing illegal. Well, I guess poker game is illegal, running in underground. But we had
white collar crime
for sure, bro. We had business, all the local businessmen, doctors, lawyers, police. Like we had a huge clientele. That's a lot of my clientele from poker days of me running private poker games are the clientele that we still tap into for this barbershop right now, 15 years later.
So put us in your headspace. 2011, you just tried to log in, not letting you in, and it just really hit you. You just lost 30.
It was over, bro. The desperation, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to get a job. And that was like unacceptable because I was good enough player where I could get people what they call to stake me. But now there's no online poker. So like you could loan me 20 grand, but I got nowhere to play. So I tried moving to Vegas to play live or whatever, and it's so much harder than playing online.
Why do you say that for somebody who's not?
Just the variance. I can only see 20 hands per hour. So the grinding, I need to be able to see hundreds of hands per hour because my style is a very a profitable style is a very tight. I'm not playing a lot of hands. I'm playing very few hands, and I'm playing very, very aggressively when I do enter a hand. So yes, in real life, I'm not getting to see enough hands. Is bottom line. So this desperation was terrible, man. And my business partner for the poker games total regular civilian. I had another buddy who lived in Cali who had moved out there to play poker, and they had legalized weed out there at the time, and the prices here were outrageous for like really high end marijuana at the time. It was like $4,800 a pound. That was a wholesale price, and we were getting them for $2,000. Anyways, I talked the man. I didn't have any money, so I couldn't even buy any. I couldn't even do anything. But so I talked my friend into investing basically into this new company that we were starting. And in a way, it was so illegal that I couldn't even like brag on it because
Can he tell y'all I'm doing it?
no, and I can't like tell my parents. I can't tell anyone. I'm like, Mom, I did so good this month. We did $250,000 in sales, but I can't tell anyone that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't say
But
that.
it quickly grew to, I mean, $200,000+ a month in sales, and it was going great. Of course, I'm taking vacations. I'm going to Las Vegas. Me and my girl, I mean, we're going everywhere. It was the greatest life ever. But of course, we always know what happens.
Yeah, we know. I know. Of course, you know. I don't. We not. We you know. We gonna keep away. We not gonna start rehashing crime. We not here to incriminate anything.
No,
Kind of obvious
it was
as far as what was going on there at that time. But like you said, everything when it comes to things like that, we all know eventually it comes to an end. I know at that point, again, the same thing you just dealt with the poker, like you said, when it went left, cars, houses, money, yet again, gone
Over.
for the second time. How mentally, again, how you, I know the first time you're like, oh man, second time, where's the headspace at this point? Like, man, I was just bounced back.
I was literally suicidal, bro. It was so devastating. It was so shameful. I'd never been in trouble before in my whole life, man. Like, I wasn't a troublemaker growing up. I made good grades. I took care of my kids. I don't know. I didn't look at what I was doing as serious as what it was, man. And so yeah, I was devastated. I lost my car. I lost my house. I lost everything I had. I had literally just signed up for barber school because I was going to open a barbershop. That was my plan for a long time. I was like, man, I'm going to use this money to open me a barbershop. And I had already signed up for school, and then a couple of weeks later, before I started school, we got busted. So I'm out on bail. I couldn't go to my house. Literally, they literally take your house. They took everything I had.
They can try to say.
Everything, bro.
Prove it, that's all.
Everything. They took everything. I had to go. My brother lived, the trailer park off Carl Vinson. They call it the Jungle. So my little brother lived in apartments right by there, man. 1 bedroom in the hood. He worked at a car wash, so I had to go move in with him. I had no furniture, nothing, bro. They even took my clothes. Like, I had nothing.
The clothes,
everything.
T-shirt, man.
Eventually, I ended up getting some of my personal items back, but for the first few weeks or whatever, I couldn't get nothing. Like, it was all.
They basically tie everything up saying, hey, you got this from that.
That's it. And it was true. So I mean, I had nothing to say. I was literally starting from scratch, man. I did the crime. Now, just give me another. All I wanted was another chance at life at this point, man. I sat in jail for a couple of weeks, man, waiting on bond. And I mean, I made some promises to God, to my kids, to my mama, and that was it, man. I was done hustling, man. I wanted an honest way to make a living. I was done chasing money, and I just wanted a noble job, man. And to me, a barber is a servant, man. And I enjoyed it. I did it as a hobby for years for my friends. And I was like, if I could make $30,000 a year, man, and not have a boss and come and go as I please and cut hair, bro, that'd be it was an enviable life for me. So anyways, I start barber school. I had to get a job with my little brother at the car wash, at Regal Car Wash, man. I went from making $200,000 a year plus for many, many years now into $7.25 an hour. Now, keep in mind, I'm working with high school kids. I'm in my 30s at this point. I was a grown man. Like, I'm bankrupt. I'm driving a 1988 Honda Civic because they took my car. I had a $600 car. Like,
what car did you have before they took it?
I had a 2011 Acura, brand new, with the wheels and everything, of course. And they took, anyways, that was gone. So at this point, I'm literally a different person, though. I was working, I'll tell one story, man. It's kind of sad, bro, but it's important because it was like a day that changed me. It'll stick with me forever. One of my best friends growing up, his mom, who I was real close with growing up, she came up to the Regal. You know, that was my worst nightmare, bro, is seeing somebody I know, bro. Because I'm up here grinding. I'm humble. You know what I'm saying? I'm grinding. I'm getting my little whatever, man. At this point, I'm grinding. I deserve my punishment. I'm taking it because I deserved it, man. I'm like almost embracing the grind at this point. But I still didn't want nobody to see me, though. Let me grind in peace, bro. Like, could I just move to another town and grind and then come back and get my respect back or whatever? But So I see my friend's mom. I'm trying to dodge her, bro, because I'm like, no eye contact, no nothing. She ain't even gonna see me. You know, it's no big deal. She comes, she yells my name, Steven, across the. I'm like, oh my god. So anyways, I'm on there scrubbing her wheels. I got tears running down my face, man. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? She comes over there and tips me $100, man. And you know my pride, bro. I'm like,
that's even worse to me.
It was the worst. I started sobbing, bro, because I needed it so bad, bro. I couldn't give it back. I needed it desperately, desperately. I had to have it. Like,
gotta pause. Y'all gotta really, if you watch, you gotta take that in right there. You know the pride. That because everything in your body want to say get that money back,
Yeah,
bro.
But you can't give it back. Like,
no, I needed it. I had to have it, bro. Because at this point, I had just finally got this little raggedy little condo, but I was so proud of it, bro. And I had upgraded to a 1998 Honda Civic instead of a 1988. Bro, I was real happy. Like, we were doing much better. I had AC in the car. Like, I'm pulling up at barber school every day from 8 in the morning till 2, and then I go from 2 to 3 o'clock. I'm over at the car wash every day. This every single day, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and every day during the week. So I did 40 hours of work, 30 plus hours of school. So I felt like I was earning my karma back. You know what I mean? I'm trying to pay society back for all I've done. I'm trying to contribute to society in any little way I can, man. Scrubbing these wheels with a smile too, bro. Because I wasn't up there being lazy. Look here, I guarantee you I was the hardest working car washer they had, bro. For real. And they respect me, bro. They would let me get the good customers, bro. They'd be like, you go ahead and get it, Steve. I'm like, all right. I had kids their age, man. So like,
that's real. That's real.
It was humbling, bro. It was humbling. So then I got near the end of barber school, I was like, I'm going to go try to work in a barbershop, bro. Like, I'm done doing this. I'm getting pretty good at cutting. I had a few clients, so I got a job at a barbershop. I was excited. And let's just say it didn't go well, bro. I was the only white dude in there. And I don't think it was that I was the only white dude. I think it was that I was older. And I sucked at cutting hair, bro. Like,
so you the guy in the we all know the guy. You ain't the guy sitting down in the shop when they walk in. Like, hey, I got you right here. Nah, you don't.
Hundreds of times, bro. That happened to me. And then they would have to literally, my homeboys at the front, bro, they would shoot me, their dudes, kid. They'd be like, you can let Steve cut your son, bro. He can do it or whatever. They had to talk to customers every time. But, bro, at this point, what am I going to do? I'm literally, it's either this or Regal Car Wash, bro. I got to pay my light bill, you know what I mean? I'm over here taking out student loans just to keep the lights on. So I'm trying, bro. I'm like, one of my friends put me on game. He's like, bro, Saturday, you need to call some of your black friends. You need to have them here at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Do free cuts if you need, but your nicest haircuts, bro, because you need to show them when there's a bunch of people in the shop. Right. So that's what I did.
That's how you know if you're new to a shop, the ultimate sign. Two things you know. If he's sitting in this chair on Saturday,
he ain't got it going on, bro. He said you need to look busy.
Yeah, but if he got 17 people in here waiting on him, hey, let me be number 18.
Exactly.
Y'all know I don't.
So they put me on game with that. But it's still, I couldn't make, I couldn't even hardly, I remember the first time, the most I ever made, I was there for like 2 months. The most I ever made was like $200 after my booth rent. You know what I mean? And that was less than I made at the car. I couldn't justify it. My wife's like, you got to do something else. So my friend owned a fancy salon. So I was like, well, I guess I really didn't want to do that, bro. The whole point of going to barber school was to work in an environment where I can be me. Like, the last thing I want to do, bro, is work in some fancy salon. But I'm desperate again. You know what I mean? I'm like, did I really just waste a year of my life? I done borrowed $15,000. So you know what I mean? And, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? So I had to try it. That was even worse, bro. It was even worse. The old ladies are so handsy and the amount of sexual harassment in there, bro.
Hey, young man.
Yes, I guess there had never been a straight guy worked there before, and oh my God, they took it.
You in like an actual barbershop? It sounded like you might have been like in the salon, like real type of salon energy, or like they be cutting ends and things like that. Like,
yes.
Oh, you was,
bro. Basically, I was a glorified shampoo boy.
Okay,
over there, like, but I was desperate. Again, I got no clients, bro. I'm not making no money. But these old ladies, well, they was tipping 20, bro. I'm charging 15 for haircuts and getting 20 for damn shampoos from old ladies, bro. I had to, bro. But then my pride is down, bro. I'm like, I was miserable. I was really, really depressed. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to make this. There was nowhere for a barber to go at the time, bro, and grow and start from scratch. Like, nowhere in Middle Georgia. Like,
let me ask you this, because I mean, you had two different experiences. You went literally from the barbershop to like a salon, basically. And like I said, we're gonna jump back to Olde World later, but I feel like it's perfect time to bring this in. What experiences from those shops, whether good or bad, kind of flows into what you do now?
The most obvious thing is immediately at the barbershop, right? There's 8 of us who work there. There's 2 or 3 guys at the front who really had their together. They had business cards. They had change. They were always there on time. They had all their supplies. They're just professional barbers. They're busy. They had overflow. And then you had like 3 or 4 of us in the back who didn't have nothing going on. We were lucky to have change. We're coming and going as we can. Some dudes are taking long lunch breaks. They're coming in stoned, whatever, dude. Like, just, you've been to barbershops, man. You know that it's a couple of them who are really doing business, and there's a couple of them who's. But then I found out that the doers paid paid more booth rent than me. They gave us, the bottom feeders, pay less. And their logic is that we couldn't afford to pay more or whatever.
I mean, that's fair, though.
Is it? Because
really.
This is how I thought about it. Because that's what that's the barbering business model for years and years and years and years. That's how they do it. They give the rookies discounted booth rent. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I'm like, this is a horrible business model, man. I've been opening businesses and running businesses for a long, long, long time. This is ass backwards. I'm like, I do the math on how much they bring in per week in booth rent. I think about how much the bills must be, and I'm like, do they really invest all this money in this shop to make no money? Like, they might make a couple $100 a month or whatever. I'm like, this is terrible. What did I get myself into? This is a horrible idea. In my mind, the people who are bringing in, because the only reason us 3 had any clients is because y'all 3 were so professional. You had overflow. You were so popular. Nobody was coming in here to see Steve or Craig. They was coming in there to see these dudes. We're only eating because they got so many customers. So in my mind, they should be paying way less than me.
We need you more than them.
For sure. But there was no incentive for them to help me because of the pay plan. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, if I ever open a barbershop, I'm going to pay the superstars way more, bro. The ones who was feeding the bottom feeders. That's what I was at the time. I called myself that. My business model came because I thought that was such a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
That makes sense, too. They say, like, I always hear this phrase, feed the wolves.
For sure.
If these are your top guys, keep your top guys happy. Because if all else fails, if these guys in the back get mad one day and walk out, we still good. I got these guys up here.
For sure.
But if it's reverse and they walk out and all I got is y'all,
because us three are the most replaceable dudes in the history of the world. We're not contributing to nothing, and those 3 up there are really valuable. But you charge them more than you charge us. So
I can see the logic of they can afford it, but that's also like. If I stay at this level, if you're a true hustler, you're not gonna just accept okay, I'm gonna keep working. But if you're just kind of average and you don't really have a strong drive, and I know as long as I don't make too much, I can keep doing this little amount to pay y'all. Most people will just stick with that.
And they're doing it. Every barbershop across America, there's a few guys who've been doing that for years, man. They're happy. They want to make $600 a week. As long as I make my little $600, bro, I don't care what happens. I ain't sweeping no hair. I ain't passing out no cards. I ain't taking no pictures. I just need my little $600, and I'm gone.
So I know that you went to Great Clips at
Yep.
a point.
All right, so and keep in mind, bro, that was frowned upon in the barbering.
Great Clips got the worst stigma of just giving out hard
Bro,
haircuts.
and everyone was making fun of me. All my peers, everyone was telling me that's a bad idea. But bear with me. The reason I wanted to do that, first off, I ain't make no money at the salon either or the shop. And the most money I can make right now is at Regal for $7.25 plus tips, right? So Great Clips going to pay me $7.25 plus tips to be inside in the air conditioning. They're going to feed me 100 customers per week. Keep in mind, at the barbershop, I'm cutting about 10 if I'm lucky. 10 if I'm lucky, bro. That's a beginner barber, bro.
I don't know why you showing up. What you doing?
Because I'm trying to build. Exactly, bro. But there's people scratching broke asses around every barbershop in Middle Georgia, bro, doing that same thing.
We see the same. We know the barbers in there all day just hanging out.
For sure.
They didn't even plug his clippers in. Don't even waste the power.
For sure. I'm like, I don't even know why I brought these out today.
Ain't even gonna use them today.
Exactly. But so to me, it was a blessing. It was going to allow me to build my skills because the only way you get better at something is to practice it. No. And I don't need to be practicing on people when I'm relying on them to pay my bills or whatever. So anyways, the business model that was the greatest idea ever. It was going to put me in front of at least 100 people per week. I was going to develop, they were going to train me. They were going to develop my skills. I already knew with my customer service skills that I was going to be able to build a clientele really, really quickly. And within a month, keep in mind, I was the least talented person in the room. All those girls cut better than me. But within a month, I had the highest retention rates. I had the highest request rates. And within 6 months, I had the biggest clientele anyone's ever had in Middle Georgia.
So I know you said they were going to feed. So Great Clips, is it not like a regular barbershop where you got to build it? Everybody, they got to walk in and come see you? Or is it Great Clips more like walk in?
Generally, they sit with whoever. They sit with whoever's next. Like, they get on the list, and then whichever barber is up next just grabs them. Now, you can request a certain barber, but then you got to wait. So by the end of that first summer, I started in February. By the end of that summer, my stepdad, he would come get a haircut. It was a random Tuesday. And he's like, There's 4 girls sitting there. One's cutting hair. There's 3 girls sitting there playing on their phone, and then there's me. And I got 7 people out in the waiting room. So I got like a 2-hour wait for me, and then they're just sitting there doing nothing. So he's like, man, we might need to go ahead and open us a barbershop. If you got this many clients, he's like, how many clients do you have? And I was like, I don't know. So I spent the next month researching. And then I found out you only need 200 clients to have a real good booth rental clientele. And I had 600. I was like, oh my God. So it started happening rapidly after that, man.
So when you left Great Clips, how many of those clients actually went with you?
A whole bunch of them.
A good barber, I know my barber, I don't follow him to like 3 shops. So I'm pretty sure if
they follow me, bro. Not only did they follow me, they sent all their friends, they sent all their family. They were so happy and excited that there was going to be a, quote, real barbershop. Because, see, my idea with the barbershop was, bro, before I became a barber, all right, if I had a haircut like this, I wanted to say if I want to fade and then I want it longer on the top, I would literally have to go to my homegirl's salon. She would do the top. Actually, first I would go to my homeboy's barbershop. He would do the fade and the lineup. And then I would have to go next door, get a whole nother haircut where she would blend it in and do the top. So I'm like, bro, if there would just be a place where everybody can go, because for whatever reason in Georgia, bro, barbershops and churches are basically the only 2 things that are still segregated. But it was segregated. It ain't as much now in 22, but in 2014, barbershops were segregated in Central Georgia, man.
They are. Like, I don't think it's on purpose. I just think it kind of falls in line because, like, one thing I like about you all at Olde World, like, y'all look like United Nations off of there. Let's just be straightforward, man.
But that's the way I grew up, bro. So I always had a real diverse group of friends and stuff. That I always grew up like that. It was always like that. So that's always the environment I'm comfortable in. But I knew a whole bunch of other people like that too, man. So I knew that if we could get a place with black guys, white guys, and females, and bring them all together in one spot or whatever, and serving everyone welcome, rich, poor, white, black, old, young, Democrat, Republican, gay, straight, it doesn't matter, man. We make an environment, we got somebody for everybody, man.
And I think that's what set y'all apart. And
for sure.
Y'all winning these awards because, again, I don't think it's a racial undertone necessarily when it comes to barbershops, but most of the time, like, yo, black dudes, man, like, usually gotta go to a black dude to get your haircut.
For sure.
White guys, it's the hair texture. So
most of it's a training thing. Most of the girls at Great Clips just didn't practice on a lot of curly hair. They didn't know how to do it. Their tools weren't properly done. And a lot of the guys at the barbershops didn't cut a lot of straight hair. Exactly. So it wasn't a desire thing. They just didn't have the skills.
You about to say something?
Yeah, I would say like the reason why when I came over to the shop, like I mainly came for like the diversity of the shop because while I was cutting that, like it was a location to where I was really only getting curly hair clients. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's what I was attracted because that's all I really mainly got. So I wasn't really getting a lot of practice over there with straight hair. And so eventually once I came over to Olde World, now my clientele is super diverse and I got both sides. Now I can go out, you know what I'm saying, and like build both categories, open up my you know what I'm saying, as far as like my money aspect, to be able to build from both sides and every little aspect, you know. So. It's
critical, man. And in order to reach the highest ends of this business, you have to be versatile. Mm-hmm. You have to be. All right, so at the beginning, we were like specialists. So I had a pretty diverse group right off rip. I knew I was going to have a diverse staff right off rip. But none of us were well-rounded. Like I said, the only well-rounded known barber in Middle Georgia was Jason at the time. And we were rookies, so we all had different specialties. I brought a Great Clips lady with me who was real good at longer hair and the shears. And I brought my boy KB from Barber School. He's the co-owner of the New Perry store. He's been with me since the very beginning. This joker was so funny because in school, he didn't want to cut straight hair. He wasn't going to cut straight hair. He refused to even try. He sold his shears. He wasn't going to do it. So he couldn't come work with me at first. But like a month or 2 in, we started growing, and he's working at a little rinky-dink place, bro. And he wanted to come over, but he couldn't cut straight hair, and he was real scared. He's like, bro, you know I can't do it. I'm like, we can teach you, man. So anyways, I finally talked him into it. What I did, I had a lady from Great Clips who could do all kind of shear work, was like a wizard with it, but she couldn't fade to save her life, bro. She didn't know how to do a outline, nothing whatsoever. But KB could do a really nice fade, really sharp outlines. Everything she lacked, they were mirrors, the opposites of each other.
I think that flowed back to like we say barbershops segregate themselves.
And they crap on themselves, bro. If they would just Think bigger.
Yeah.
You put a dude who don't know how to do straight hair next to a girl who only knows how to do straight hair, and I'm like, y'all two are tag team partners. I would stagger it. It was like black guy, white girl, black guy, white girl. That was our seating arrangement for years until we get people trained. Now everyone in the room is so well rounded. It's because the last thing I wanted was whenever you walk in, a black guy sitting in my black guy's chair, a little old white man sitting in the girl's chair. I wanted. In my shop, you're very likely to see Keyshawn cutting a little white kid, one of my white ladies braiding a black dude's hair. I got white ladies who cut curly hair on the regular. Like, and that's important to me, bro. It fills my soul whenever I see that because there's nowhere else in the country that's doing that. Nowhere in the country.
If you just had it like that, like black guys cut black guys hair, it doesn't.
It
What
don't
sets
make
you all apart doesn't make
Defeat
you
the whole
different.
purpose. Because that first year, it was so different, bro. We would have old men come in because we're not for everybody, and we do live in the deep south. So we'd have them old guys come in and be like, "My wife said y'all had good reviews on Google." He said, and he didn't have an appointment. I was like, "Do you have an appointment?" He's like, "Nah." He said, "But make sure I sit with one of the guys. I don't want to sit with one of them black guys, or I don't want to sit with one of them girls to cut my hair." And as soon as they say something like that, bro, they're out. I'm like, "I'm sorry, bro. We got nothing available for you." And we put them on the ban list like numerous times. I've had to pull a racist Indian dude out of the chair mid haircut, an older dude, bro. He was sunning one of my barbers. You don't know what you're doing. I'm like, anyway, I have their back, bro.
Well, why did he sit down in the chair if he didn't think he knew what he was doing?
I guess he didn't like the way it felt. It feels like he didn't know what he was doing. And it was KB, and he did not know what he was doing. But that's beside the point. You know what I'm saying? You're not finna talk to my man any kind of way. This man is in training. You know what I mean? I snatched that dude. He said, "No, we're not finished." I said, "Oh, yes, we are." I snatched that cape off of him, but I'm not playing that game, bro. If you come in here wanting a specific sex or race cutting your hair, bro, this ain't the shop for you. Now, if you want to, you can have that preference. Go book that shit online, man. Don't call up here asking for a white dude, or don't call up here. You got anybody who can cut curly? Bro, I don't like none of that, man. Yes, we cut hair. Everybody in here can cut all hair, man.
Yeah, if you gonna be like that, hopefully you not like that. But let's be real. If you are like that, come to the shop.
For
Figure out
sure.
who you want, ask his name, and
That's
then
it.
go online and do it yourself.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Because that
Don't
was
be lazy and racist. Pick one.
for sure. But I will proudly say that that's very, very rare. Like Keyshawn's been here over a year. He probably has never seen anything like that in here. Only the people who were here at the very beginning only even remember that stuff, man. Because it's a real wholesome environment, bro. It's the most inclusive environment I've ever been in. But yeah, Craig was another one of ours who came in with absolutely no experience cutting straight hair. A lot of times when the black guys who come, it's because they want to challenge themselves, bro. It's not because they want to stay in one little box. They want to learn how to do everything.
I ain't gonna lie, that set y'all apart. Like, yeah, y'all at Old World right now. But I mean, be real, if y'all ever want to leave Old World, which I don't know why.
Bro, I could drop Craig or any of my barbers. I could drop Craig in any city, any shop in any city on the planet of Earth, and he could hold his own. It don't matter what their clientele is, rich, poor, white, black, Asian, male, female, it doesn't matter. They can pull it off. Every single one of them can pull it off.
For sure. And the thing about that is, man, that's why I want to come there because of the diversity they had. And the shop I was at, it was more like a dog eat dog. You know, we never curly hair, so it's just like they went outside, and I'm inside. I'm a new guy. I just got out of barber school, so I'm like, man, where the walk-ins at? They be outside getting all the walk-ins coming in like they just homeboys. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be, hey, that's some
Yeah,
barbers
you
that be
gotta be.
outside, hey, man.
And so when I went that
You gotta be
mentality, like when I went to the shop, I seen the shop online a year ago before even going. I seen everybody was in suits. I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't going now.
Not no suits.
Cause I'm like, man, I'm fresh out of barber school, so I'm like, nah, that ain't something I really want to do. That year later, I'm like, let me call these folks up and see what's going on.
See what's going on. That's the one thing I'm noticing too now with barbers, that I'm starting to, and I appreciate it. It's starting to go from before barbering. It's always been one of the things that was needed, but I don't think it was respected as much as it should have been. Maybe not even by certain barbers, because now you're starting to see barbers taking more professional. Now you're starting like before. When I was growing up, barbers showing up like you just jumped out of bed, or you showing up in the t-shirts,
For sure.
do-rags. Now you seeing barbers like investing themselves. You getting the suits and you looking like a professional, which makes me like looking like a professional. Even if you're not professional, makes me feel like you're professional.
Honestly, bro, it's the truth. We literally were dressing up to play a part, bro. I dress in t-shirts and jeans most of the time, bro. But when I go somewhere, we go to a show or something, I promise you, I'm suited out.
Like if I see a barber in a suit, for some reason he may cut worse than the guy. Look like he jumped out of bed. I'm gonna feel like he better though. Something about him just give him a certain confidence that he about, about it.
Y'all heard these things? This is
So in school we learn this thing called professional image, and we always talk about it. Like a lot of times, like when you look the part, all you gotta do is look the part, and a lot of times the action comes with it behind it. A lot of times, cause you gonna want to be better, cause people gonna start respecting you and show you like a different type of energy. when you got the suit
It comes
on.
with a. Oh, that's the thing.
It does.
I think we talked about it on every episode of this Millionaire Monster. It's people have a followers mentality. All you gotta do is make people feel like they missing out by not being there. Like if everybody like, man, look at your barber, man. That barber don't like he doing nothing. Man, my barber drive this car, man. My barber got this suit on, man. We
Straight up, you see all these trophies over here, bro. Our customers talk trash for us. Straight
we
up.
doing big things over here. So I'm gonna go get my hair cut over here. Now your homeboy feel like he at his shop looking around like, I'm gonna go over there too. Now I'm
Waiting all
about
day.
3 or 4.
And they'd be like, and then another thing is, nobody did appointments before I came along. Anyone saying they did in barbering in Middle Georgia is a bald-faced liar. They all made fun of me. They all said, no one's gonna do that. But who's at the mall? That was the busiest shop at the time, bro. But if I wanted to get a cut there, I had to wait 2 or 3 hours, bro.
Man, that mall, I remember like the mall used to be like my backup shop, and then that, like you said, they started doing appointments. What you mean?
I'm the one who put them on that, bro, because they saw the success of it. Like, that's the way you're gonna, because if not, if you do walk-in only, then you're gonna be real busy in certain hours, and then you're gonna have other hours where the shop is dead. Yeah. So appointments fill those dead hours, man. It's simple math.
Barbers too, it make better use of your time. Like we were talking about, like now, I feel like for the barbers who are established with, for a clientele with barber, that make better use of your time, because if you know you booked out, or if you know when everybody's coming, and you're not one of those barbers who just gotta kind of hope for the, one of those, hey, go ahead, jump in his chair. But if you're one of those who already got your stuff in line, okay, I know I can go take me a lunch right now because I know I got appointments the rest of the day. I don't have to sit in here and hope somebody just walks.
For sure.
Yeah,
See,
I
that's
didn't understand that coming there, like made me feel like I was at a fancy barbershop. Like, we got an appointment, boy. What's going on? Like, these people just walking in. And
you gotta hope, you gotta be there. You gotta sit in your chair all day.
So now it gave me a different perspective. Now I can plan out my whole week.
Basically, because you know when you're there, and if by chance somebody, hey man, can you do me?
Squeeze them in sometimes, whatever. The fast ones do, but someone like Craig and Keyshawn, they're booked every day, man. You're not calling them at 10 o'clock today wanting a haircut this afternoon. It's never gonna happen. Never. We got guys who can cut it, but they're not gonna be my top guys.
That's just being real. I mean,
but they got to build somewhere. Craig was the guy who was catching all the leftovers for a long time, man. But now he's the one creating the overflow for the new people. Like, what percentage of your clientele would you say now is straight hair?
Probably about 60%.
Or more. I would have said 75%. I would have said 3 out of 4.
Everybody got to earn them stripes, though. You're not just gonna jump from barber school right to the top of the food chain. Everybody has to climb up. That come with experience.
I will say this though, you gotta be humble coming to a shop like this.
Oh, they'll eat you alive if not.
It all, man. You
can't.
Homie me. Yeah, homie you for real. You think you know how to cut? And
I feel like y'all, I feel like that's specific to y'all's. Like you gotta be humble, because like a lot of shops we already talked about, they only need to know how to cut one type of hair. So
Yeah.
if you do that, you can be cocky, because I ain't gotta prove nothing else, but I can do this. But y'all, you cool at that. Do this too with me.
Yeah.
I make them audition on something they're not comfortable with. Like Keyshawn auditioned on my hair, but he came in he had the right answers, man. Put it this way,
I ain't seen Keyshawn the wrong answers yet.
Bro, he came in and I said the first thing I asked because there's lots of young guys his age who are real cocky, and they come in and they got cool portfolio of good haircuts or whatever. Hey, cool. But I always ask the magic question. So how confident on a scale of 1 to 10 are you on straight hair? Then they always lie, bro. Always. They always lie, bro.
8 out of 10. I got.
Everyone says that. Everyone. Keyshawn is the first person in the history of the world to come in and be like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, about a 3. And I was like, oh my God, bro. I told James, my general manager at the time, I walked out. I was like, go hire that kid. Whatever. Don't let that kid go today. Because that's the one. That's all I want, bro. He cuts that good already, because he already had a full clientele. He was already one of the top barbers in Middle Georgia. But he came over there with that real huge hunger.
Barber in Middle Georgia. We forgot to mention that. I
sure.
didn't forget to mention that. You ain't want to talk about yourself. That's your fault.
Bro, he's one of my heroes. This is a kid, bro. Bro, I look up to this kid. He's younger than my own son. Like, I'm literally old enough to be his dad, but I'm like learning and taking coaching from them.
So Keyshawn, we sit here on a series called Millionaire Mindsets. You a young master barber, and you didn't feel the need to mention that at the beginning.
Yeah, man, it's like, it'd be so, it'd be so much, man, I want to get in, so I'm just like, I just want to make sure that I kind of give everybody their time, but definitely I don't want to put too much, on me all the time.
I feel you. I feel you want to give everybody their time, but who giving you yours if you ain't gonna take yours?
We supposed to boost them up. I'm slipping. Slipping. I should have pointed that out.
Like the humbleness though, it's a natural, it's a genuine thing for me though. I feel like it's enough room for everybody to eat, so I know
it is enough room for everybody to eat. So you could have definitely slid in that you was a master barber, and everybody. Hey, we got enough batteries for the camera. We can keep going. Everybody can say what they doing, man. You didn't have to hold that out.
Oh, definitely. I appreciate y'all for sure.
Yeah, we proud of you, man.
That was definitely a milestone that I had to hit. I failed a couple times to try to get to it, so I'm glad I was able to actually like make it happen for real. That's, I do motivation, so it's like honestly, with success, is always gonna come failure, but you already know to trust the process and finish. Get to it.
I think that's kind of like that kind of exemplifies all y'all, man. That's why y'all shop runs like it does.
For sure.
Man. But what else is going on with Olde World? What's the plans, man? You got new shops? There more shops on the way? What's the major plan?
What I really do, I'm not gonna lie. The first shop on House and Lake, the original shop, I own 100% of, but it was exhausting, man, to get that thing going. Like, another thing that people don't know, the first 3 years, like, I borrowed $80,000 to build it out, and then on top of that, I was losing because I wasn't renting out chairs, man. So even though I could have, because I had the nicest shop in town, I could have rented out all my chairs the first day, but that was against my business model, man. So I had to believe in the business model. Long story short, I got up to $118,000 in debt, and I didn't break even until month 10. Month number 10, I finally broke even. So until I paid back all that money, it took me 2.5 years. I made $500 a week plus tips, man. I was the lowest paid person in the room. I had the most customers, doing the most work. I'm doing the toilets. I'm buying the supplies. I'm doing the payroll. I'm answering the phone. I'm doing the most haircuts, and I made the least of everyone in the room.
People don't realize how important that is. Invest now. Like, even now, just speak to the podcast. You know how awkward it be when people come sit down with me, like, hey, man, I got on your podcast. Hey, I made $1,000 since I got on your podcast. I ain't making $1,000.
Be like, well, I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you did. Or, man, I got 10,000 followers when I sat down with you.
But see, luckily, I had come from a place that was so low, and that humility, that was real. I was literally a changed person. So it still felt like a blessing to me because I knew I was creating a place for other people to come that were struggling fresh out of school to hit the ground running. I didn't hire anyone until I knew they could make at least $600 a week minimum, even at the beginning. I was guaranteeing people. So I'm literally paying people guaranteed salaries that were higher than what I made. Right off rip, with no shame.
Let me ask you, I know you said you didn't hire anybody when you first started. Why was that? I know you said it's part of your business plan, but again, and if it's still part of your business plan, please don't say it on
No, I don't mind anyways, bro. I can give the recipe. That don't mean you can pull it off. I'm the chef.
I can tell you A, B, and C don't mean you still gonna put it in order. You still walk out with D, E, and F for some reason.
For sure. But basically, I didn't want to rent out the booths because there's no profit in that. We like we talked about earlier. No one's investing $100,000 to get $1,000 a month return on their investment. Let's be clear. I'm not. So the first year, I was the brokest person in the room. So I had to see everybody, and I had to celebrate their wins as my wins. So I was driving like an old Chevy Sonic. By the time I opened the shop, I did upgrade to like a 2010 Chevy Sonic, but I still had the worst car. I was living in the littlest apartment. I'm talking about everybody. Every one of my employees, they were buying houses. Because another thing that we do at our shop, different from other shops, is they got legit paychecks. Every other week, they get real paychecks. They got real verifiable income of $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. I got 100 people who make $100,000 a year in that shop.
So do they get paid like per cut, or do they get paid a base salary?
It's a commission. Most of them are on a commission, so it depends. It's a tier-based system, basically. So the rookies start at one level, and then someone like Craig or Keyshawn obviously get paid a much higher percentage.
So so everybody's basically, if somebody I don't ever see nobody just sitting when I came to y'all shop, but if there was somebody who was just sitting, not really doing a lot of cuts, they still are guaranteed to get paid?
No, I wouldn't hire. Now, I don't hire them because I have the analytics. I'm not guessing anymore. So now, I know when I need someone, and I won't hire them until I know that they can make it look. But like Trey just started. He's working part-time because I didn't even have a spot for him to work full-time. Literally.
Not Mr. Rock out the
bro, that's another huge prospect. But he's grinding, bro. He doesn't even have a full-time spot, but he's still making about $1,000 a week, man. Just grinding. Bro, it's night and day over the last couple months from that kid. Night and day. The attitude, the motivation, everything about him.
Every time I see him, he come over here for the podcast, he let everybody in the room know, hey, you got a barber? You backup barber? That one thing I give him, he gonna let you know. You don't even gotta pick him every time. Hey, just call me if you.
He's confident with it now, man, because he's nice with it now.
Man, ain't free, man. I don't care.
And it's crazy, man. I seen the growth, man. Like from the beginning, man. Like I was like, cause he cut in the shop with me one time before, in another barbershop that I was in, like when I was in school. And so with him, it was one of the things where it was like he would not give up. Like he'll take nothing else. Like one door closed, he opened another one, and he stayed with like 10 jobs while he had, like, it was cutting, you know what I'm saying? So he was always like one thing working for him, and he always confident in himself to go to the next thing. And with the barber, I was just happy that he stayed consistent with it because I knew he had all the potential in the world to be great. I just knew that he had to be consistent in doing it. And once I seen that he had the confidence in himself to do it, that's it. You know
Yeah, future six-figure barber for sure.
Most definitely.
He already got his own millionaire mindset, so we gonna stop talking about him right now. He already got his. Y'all don't give him y'all's too, man.
Most definitely.
So one thing I see that's important for y'all at Olde World, training and development. Why is that so important, and how did y'all just seem to excel at it so much?
I'll brag now, and I don't brag a lot, but I will say that we got one of the top talent development and training programs in the country. Bottom line, it started with Jason. I mean, Jason's a national educator. He's won every major competition there is. He's taught for numerous major companies at every hair show there is, and we use him like a lot. And KB, like I just have a really, really, really good training staff, man. That's very, very versatile, and they're giving. I mean, they give their time. We don't take established barbers. Matter of fact, I say Keyshawn is the first established barber that I had hired in over 5 years. I take rookies. I want rookies with good attitudes. Like, I don't care how they cut. I just want to know what their attitude is, how hungry they are. He's the first person I had to hire with a full clientele and with experience or whatever.
That makes sense, too, hiring rookies, because they're not stuck in their ways. They're still willing to learn, and, like, they're more probably willing to fit the culture. Because if you you're already a superstar, you're not gonna tell me how to be that guy. I'm already that guy.
For sure, they're not listening. They're not fitting in. This is a fit-in thing, man. It's keeping the fitting in is a huge part of it. So that's I'm only looking for the top. Luckily, like most shops have the problem, like every shop in town's looking for barbers, man. Always, every year, every shop. That's just a thing. I always have multiple barbers on deck waiting for a spot to open up. At least 4 or 5 at all times, waiting on a spot to open up. The first thing I do, I don't care about their haircuts. I want to go scroll their Instagram page, their Facebook, see how are they professional? Are they off the chain? How provocative are they on? Because those are things that matter. Because how coachable are you? That's all I need to know, man.
That makes sense. So, I mean, in terms of a millionaire mindset, Olde World's already doing $1 million in sales. You can't have $1 million. If you're already doing millions, you already have a millionaire mindset. But what's the next milestone as we close this thing out?
Oh, that's what I was getting. So the first shop is 100% mine, but all the shops going forward, I'll just be a minority partner. So like the new shop is with my boy KB. He's one of the part owners. Macon is part owned by Jason Patridge. All my main top dogs, I hope to do shops with all of them. Like whatever Keyshawn's in on, I want in on. Whatever Craig's got in on, I want in on. Whether we have our own, like we have access to product development. We have access if they want to do teaching or platform artists, whatever. We have those availabilities because I've taught, and those are the doors. Every show I taught at is not because I enjoy doing that, man. I'm not a public speaker. I'm not good at any of that stuff.
Fool me. It seems like he media trained right now.
Whatever. I get it. But I do it just to open up doors for other people, man. Because putting people on, helping them, like the OG Barber Conference that I was invited to, I was nominated for an award for team building and business building. And I was so honored, man, because it's not OG in the traditional sense. It's OG is offering game. And I can know for a fact I do that, bro. My whole professional life revolves around putting other people on. Like, so it was a huge honor winning that award.
So my barbers who've been sitting here, man, millionaire mindset for y'all. What's next for y'all? Where y'all headed?
Hopefully, going in business, open up another barbershop. Hopefully, that's the next step.
We already know success of mindset. What's that mean? What we going with this?
And you know, success is a mindset, most definitely. For me personally, I'm more so like I want to be like an influence, man. Like honestly, like my purpose is to motivate, educate, and inspire all generations. So for me, I'm a barber, but at the same time, like I'm doing a lot of different other things, and when it comes down to just being able to be a motivation to somebody else who needs it. That's why I'm in there. So I want to be at the conference. I'm the one that want to get up and do the speaking. Like that's why I'm here. You know, talk to me nice. You know,
you still need to get your speech video I got from you.
I know, man. I'm here. So the microphone for me, man, just to be able to like inspire someone else who may be scared to take that leap of faith. I'll let you know it's possible. You know what I'm saying? For me personally. So that's where it said the branding, the clothing. I know. You know what I'm saying? You see what's going on, and so with that, it's just being able to build like generational wealth over time, and to be able to build it with a team of people who's like-minded like myself. You know what I'm saying? So
that's awesome, man.
that's how we doing it.
before I close this out, man, anybody got any more announcements, any shout outs, anything y'all need to be said, man, before we cut these cameras off?
I think I'm good, man. I appreciate you having us on. I've been a fan of the show, man. You putting 478 on the map. It's by far the best podcast in Middle Georgia, man.
The pleasure's all mine. Pleasure is all mine, man. I gotta thank y'all early on for, I just hit my second 30,000 video. Was it earlier today? Yes, I don't know. I want to thank y'all ahead of time for my third one, man. I know this one's on the way.
I hope so. That'd be awesome, man.
For sure.
100K, we already
100K.
claimed.
Matter of fact, man, this a 40 one. I need a 40 off this one, man. Other than that, if you're looking for a barbershop that can take care of anybody, I'm glad. Like, you usually can't say this and be honest, because you usually gotta say, you're looking for a barbershop and you need a fade, go over there. Yeah. But if you're just looking for a barbershop, period, tap in with Olde World. It's about 1,000 of y'all in there, so somebody in there can cut your hair the way you want to be cut. I bet probably everybody in there could. So I appreciate y'all time. I know y'all busy. I apologize to y'all clients, because y'all probably should be cutting somebody hair right now, but y'all over here doing podcasts. So other than that, man, if y'all don't have nothing else to say, my name is Lawrence Ray, and we are done.